Hello students, my name is Arti Asre from Podar International School, Chinswat. I am going to teach you the chapter Metals and Non-Metals. Today our topic is Physical Properties of Metals and Non-Metals. So let us start with our topic. So before comparing the physical properties of metals and non-metals, we must understand what is meant by a physical property and what is meant by chemical property. A physical property of a substance can be studied without changing the composition of the substance. Whereas to understand the chemical property of a substance, the substance has to be reacted with some other substance. And due to that, its chemical composition changes. So now let us compare the physical properties of metals with that of non-metals. The first one is hardness. Most of the metals that exist in nature are hard and strong. If they are stuck with a hammer with a great force, they do not break easily. Whereas the non-metals are brittle in nature. They can be turned into powder even by application of small force. But there are certain exceptions in both the sides. Exceptions of metals which are not hard are sodium, potassium, which are very soft. They can be cut with a knife also. Whereas diamond is a non-metal which is very, very hard. Rather, it is the hardest natural substance. Second is state. Most of the metals exist in solid state, whereas most of the non-metals are either solid or gaseous in nature. But bromine is a non-metal which exists as liquid at room temperature. And in case of metals, mercury is an exception because it is a liquid metal at room temperature. Next is density. Metals have high density, whereas non-metals are low in density. The exceptions are sodium, lithium, potassium or alkali metals have low density, whereas diamond being a non-metal but it has high density. Next is luster. Luster means shine. Most of the metals are shiny, lustrous. That is why we use metals to make different ornaments like silver, gold, etc. Non-metals are dull, they don't shine. But there is an exception, iodine. Iodine is a non-metal whose crystals are shiny violet in color. Next property is sonority. Metals are sonorous, means when they are stuck with a hard substance, they produce a ringing sound. That is why metals are used in making bells in the temples, whereas non-metals are non-sonorous. They don't produce any ringing sound when they are stuck with a hard substance. Electrical conductivity. Metals are very good conductors of electricity because they contain free electrons in them, whereas non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. Exception in metals is bismuth. Even though it is a metal, it is not a good conductor of electricity. Whereas graphite, which is an allotrope of carbon, it is a good conductor of electricity. That is why it is used in electrolysis process as electrodes to conduct electricity. Next is thermal conductivity. Metals are good conductors of heat, whereas non-metals are poor conductors of heat. The exception in metal side is lead. Lead being a metal, it is a poor conductor of heat. After that, we will discuss malleability and ductility. Malleability is a property in which a substance can be beaten up into thin sheets, whereas ductility is a property in which a substance can be drawn into thin wires. So, in case of metals, if we see, almost every metal is malleable as well as ductile, whereas none of the non-metal is malleable or ductile. Melting point and boiling point. Metals have high melting point and boiling point, whereas non-metals have low melting point and boiling point, and that is why most of the non-metals exist in the form of gases. The exception is diamond. Even though it is a non-metal, it has high melting point and boiling point. Whereas gallium and cesium are the metals which have low melting point and boiling point. If they are kept or held in our palm, they melt immediately, even by receiving small amount of body heat. So, this is the complete content. I hope you must have understood it clearly. In the next video, we will be understanding the chemical properties of metals. Thank you so much.